Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one was sent in by Longbow, and he's playing the Dark Elves against new Lizardmen. So here, I think this is a great build, honestly. He's got some bleak swords, he's got some dread spears, so a lot of sort of cheap units that can sort of face off against skinks. He's got some anti-large, and also better melee defense with the dread spears to hold out a little longer. But he has a couple of Corsairs that trade pretty well against Saurus warriors, backed up by a Death Hag as well, which is definitely useful to have, and Sister Slaughter will just fight anything forever because their sisters are Slaughter, you know what they're like. So, you know, really nice solid front line, good mix of units though, which is always nice to see. Also, he's got some Dark Shards in the back, some extra armor-piercing missile damage, which is super useful in case there are any big dinosaurs. Also, Supreme Sorcerers of Death with 105 speed. She can outrun most of the flyers, which is pretty damn useful. Still a little dangerous, but there are plenty of you know, missile units such as the Dark Shards and these two Dark Rise repeater crossbows as well that can back her up. Also, Cold One Knights, so really good anti-large armor piercing. On the other side though, we've actually got Doomfire Warlocks, which will be great for just gobbling up skirmishers really nice and quickly. Rear charges beautiful, and those free spells make them very, very powerful. Also, Cold One Dread Knights. You rarely see these guys, but they've got just unbelievably good stat line. So not anti-large or anti-infantry or anything, no, just huge armor piercing, really good combat stats, really good armor, and even some bronze shields too, so they're very, very sturdy, very hard to deal with. And Primal Instincts as well, you know, the big change of the Lizardmen, their rampage mechanic, it applies to these guys too. So, you know, Primal Instincts, all Cold One riders have that, whatever faction, so that's going to be a nice big extra melee attack and charge bonus if they do get very injured, which is really cool. So 20% now, so you can cycle charge with them more. So that buff to the Lizardmen, it's also a bit of a buff for the Dark Elves too, with their Cold One Knights, which is really cool to see. So, his opponent. This is pretty scary. You can see he's got a red-crested skink chief on a Ripidactyl. I'm as yet to have seen someone bring him on this. But yeah, really nice. Good fighter, really good melee attack. And that can be bolstered a fair bit. You know, he's got the Potion of Strength. It doesn't look like... Oh yeah, he does. He's got Warrior's Crest as well. So, you know, huge stats, potentially. Bit of a problem being on a small flyer though. I mean, still a large target, but it doesn't have a lot of mass. Things like the Ripidactyls, the Pterodons, so it's quite difficult for them sometimes. They really need to just find a target on its own and just pick it off, you know, that's kind of how they need to do it. But he's got anti-infantry as well, some armor piercing, poison, very, very handy. Also, Ancient Salamander, huge missile damage with these guys, and really good range. I mean, look at that, 185 range. Look at the Dark Shards, 125. They can outrange them so easily, so they can keep nice and safe. Load of Saurus warriors, including some spears as well, and a bunch of Chameleon Skinks, which is very nice indeed. But the Chameleon Skinks are getting a bit secluded. You can see the cavalry is moving in for them already. But the creme de la creme here, we have Lord Croak. Lord Croak is an absolute beast. You know, being dead doesn't stop him. Doesn't stop him at all. And here you can see he's obviously got the Supreme Shield, the old ones, the huge damage resistance. He's got Cold-Blooded, and he's got the Deliverance of Itza spells, as well as the Golden Death Mask for lowering melee attack. Anything nearby. He's unbreakable, bunch of different resistances. Very useful Lord indeed. Really good spellcaster. I say Lord, I mean he's Lord Croak, but he's actually a hero. He should be called Hero Croak. So, Ancient Salamander trying to shoot into these Cold One Knights a bit, trying to free up these Chameleon Skinks. And obviously the Chameleon Skinks aren't very well suited here. It's all shields or armor, and they're not great against either, so they will get chased off pretty well here. It's going to be a bit of a problem for them. But, you know, some damage is being done to the Cold One Knights thanks to the Ancient Salamander. Oh, and look at this. Over here, 2 full units, right? Dread Spears, 2 full units. 1 Deliverance of Itza. Yeah, both pretty much wiped out. That's pretty great. That was the most expensive cast though, as you can see by the size of it. And it takes forever to cast, so it is avoidable. It is avoidable. But here you can see the front line is getting stuck in. Doom and Darkness has been used here. Upgraded, and I think that's a bit preemptive. You can see there's only 1 unit that looks likely to break. Over here, though, Supreme Sorceress did come in and disrupt the Salamander for a bit, but she doesn't want to fight him one-on-one. He is still pretty good in melee, and she is not a melee combatant. But you can see here, Cold One Knights are starting to charge in. The back lane is being harassed by the Red-Crested Skink Chiefs, the Colossodon Hunters, and the Ripidactyls. So here, this is actually pretty impressive, because the cavalry try and deal with them. He's got the Colossodon Hunters with that anti-large, and any infantry, the Ripidactyls are going to do a lot of good work too. So it's really cool to see 2 units that are basically the same unit, but one is anti-large, one is anti-infantry. It's pretty cool. So here they're charging to the back line, and that's going to start to hurt. Cold One Knights aren't going to do well against the Colossodon Hunters, and all the other units aren't going to do so well against the Ripidactyls. But of course, all this ranged fire, it's still in operation. Oh, look at this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, 10 seconds to cast that, basically. So, yeah, it'll wipe out anything. It'll wipe out absolutely anything. But it takes a long time. You can see here, Cold War Knights wiped out. Blackheart Corsairs wiped out. Sister Slaughter only still in the fight because they're Sister Slaughter and they're so goddamn stubborn. But yeah, brutal spell, but it takes a hell of a long time to cast. So here you can see a Doombolt coming in from the Red Crested Skink Chief. Takes about half his remaining health off. I mean, sure, the Dark Shards are under heavy attack, but these Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, they haven't been attacked once, they're not getting accosted at all, they can't be caught up by anything. So they're doing a fine job just whittling down all these very expensive units. I mean, these are 1200, the Ripperdactyls, it's very expensive. So here, another Deliverance of Itza being cast. And is that a Spirit Leech? Yeah, Spirit Leech to finish off the Red Crested Skink Chief, definitely worthwhile. And boom, big chunk of damage. That puts Lord Croak up to 217 kills, which is pretty insane. But there's just so much infantry here. This is a very well-rounded Dark Elf army. You know, there's a counter to everything. So here the Ancient Salamander, now that's fighting Doomfire Warlocks and Cold One Dread Knights, it doesn't stand a chance. It's being ripped to pieces. And the Death Hag is on his tail as well. And now it's basically just down to Croak because, yeah, these Closton Hunters, they're just getting shot at as they're trying to run back in. They're going to get killed pretty quickly, I think. There are some Saurus Warriors, and anything over there? Nope, it's basically Croak, Closton Hunters, and these Saurus Warriors. Closton Hunters being shot at. Supreme Shield of the old ones will keep them in the fight a little bit longer. But, yeah, it's only a matter of time. They're only taking out Dark Shards. It's not really a problem. So here, all the infantry is bogged down Lord Croak. And the thing is, Lord Croak in melee is a bit rubbish. He's only got 12 melee defense. He does lower melee attack by 9, which makes Dread Spears pretty rubbish. But, you know, Sister Slaughter, they're still on 37. They're doing alright. So yeah, Lord Croak, not great in melee. So, Saurus Warriors are dealt with. That's army losses, but of course Croak is unbreakable, so he's going to keep fighting. And here, again, could avoid this, but there's so much other stuff going on. The Lizardmen have lost already, but let's see how many kills he can get. Wow, that's a lot. 317 kills. That's obscene. 318, 19, 20. He's being whittled down, though. There's nothing he can do. Poor Croak. So he's dead. And yeah, that's a Pyrrhic victory. And yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastically played. These were great. You know, this was a great build. And Longbow did say, when he submitted this replay, please ignore all the micro mistakes. I can't. They resulted in 321 kills. But, you know, I was counting along to that. It takes a long time for that to cast. So if you see Croak, just spend a lot of time avoiding stuff. It's gonna hurt if you get caught out by those things. Of course, this build, just so well-rounded. A lot of this got nullified very quickly. It's a very small army, but very flimsy. You know, the Chameleon Skinks, they get caught out, they get killed very quickly. Ripperdactyls and Colossodon Hunters, again, they get caught out and killed very quickly. Ancient Salamander, even he's pretty squishy in melee. You don't want him in a fight, not really. You need him as an artillery piece. And then maybe charge down units that are about to break anyway, you know, to save yourself the ammo, get some good hits in. You know, have him and some other stuff fighting a single target, just add that extra armor-piercing damage in there, you know. He's useful there, but just in a duel or surrounded by Cold War Knights, he will not do well. And I think that was the sort of the weakness of this army. There was nothing that was really sturdy that could hold the line, and honestly, they're usually great at holding the line. That's kind of what Lizardmen are great at. But this is also glass cannon units. And when you've got things like Chameleon Skinks that take a heck of a long time to put work in, you know, it's damage over time with those little darts, you know. You keep them safe, and then you just keep whittling away at things. Very useful like that. Quite difficult to catch up to. They're a bit annoying. You know, but you need stuff to screen. You know, you need things like the Saurus Spears to be able to screen out cavalry to let them keep poisoning and doing damage over time. But when you've got such a glass cannon army, it's very difficult to get, you know, to capitalise on that. So, Warhammer Rookie, fair enough. You know, we all start somewhere. But Lord Croak, just beautiful moves with Croak. Yeah, just the highest cast of that is just devastating. It is amazing to see. I mean, 321 kills on a spellcaster is pretty much unheard of. Obviously, though, we have seen it can be avoided, so, you know, do try and avoid it. Just as soon as you see Croak, know that a lot of your micro has to be on avoiding what's it called, the Deliverance of Itza. You really want to avoid that. That's the big thing. So yeah, beautiful game. So, thanks Longbow for sending this in. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.